Okay, so first off, what is a spiral or clan breeding program? Basically, this system entails creating three up to five clans or group of birds that which you're going to use to breed, and each clan is identified by the females. And what you do is you rotate the males out of each clan for each generation into the next clan, and what that does is it helps you maintain a genetic diversity inside a closed flock. And now, by closed flock, I mean a flock where you're not bringing in outside birds or outside genetics. So basically, you've got your starting flock, and you're working only with those birds and breeding them in such a manner that your genetic diversity is going to stay, or it's not going to get out of hand to where you've got inbreeding. We are going to talk a little bit about inbreeding and line breeding later on in this, but spiral breeding is a method of breeding that will keep the genetic diversity, and it's also going to help you improve your lines because you're always selecting the best of the best to move on to the next clan. So basically, setting up your clans, what you need for each color of bird that you want to keep, you need three clans. Now I know that sounds like a lot. I've got five different colors. I've got to have 15 different clans. It's really not that much because clan size doesn't really matter. You can have as little as a 1-to-2 ratio, like one rooster and two hens per clan, all the way up to if you're uh, colony breeding, and you're doing hundreds of birds, you can do it the same way. But regardless, you still need three clans, and the initial clan, the colors when you're setting it up are always bred together, the same color birds. I do want to talk about. Actually, let me go back. Uh, Once you got your clan set up or selected, you need to have an identifier for your clan, or your group. We'll just call them a group from here on out. Um, the identifiers can be something as simple as a color, like I have here. Green, blue, and yellow, one for each group, or they can be numbers. Groups 1, 2, and 3, or you can even name them. You can name them the name of your favorite hen in each clan. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Um, but you need to set up your first clan and start breeding those clans. And we're gonna start out by saying one male to a group of females. So we'll just go ahead and say, for this presentation, say a 1-to-5 ratio. Um, so when you breed that first year or that first generation, all the chicks that hatch out in in this case, we're looking at the yellow clan. The hen is the fully yellow bird. The rooster is the black bird with the yellow dot. He is from that yellow clan. All the offspring are labeled by the clan that they originated from. So if every chick that hatches out from a hen or from a group of hens, say in the yellow group, all the offspring, all the chicks will all be part of the yellow clan. And when we get into record keeping and identifying your birds, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But the only thing that changes in each clan is as your chicks hatch out, you're going to select the best of the best. You want to take all your best hens, and they will stay in that yellow group. You're going to select your best rooster, and if you're ready to rotate to the next, let me back up a minute. I want to say, when we say generation, normally that's one breeding. Your first batch of chicks is one generation. Um, Seeing as how Coturnix reproduce and grow so fast, you can actually do multiple generations. In this case, say they were all yellow. Say you did three different hatches from the yellow chicks. All the chicks would still be yellow, but you're only going to select the top five hens and one of the best roosters. The top 5 hens will stay in that yellow group while the rooster rotates over to the next group. And we'll show you on that on this page. But regardless, this is probably a little bit better picture to show you. Regardless of the sex, the chicks always stay within the mother's clan. So the blue hen or the blue clan, all their offspring are going to be blue. Same with the green, same with the yellow. And here we go. We're talking about selecting the best chicks that are better than the parents. When selecting your hens, you want to select hens that are as good as the mother, if not better. But the most important one is actually the rooster. You want to make sure that the rooster, you can see, well, behind me, it's the top one. That's supposed to be a rooster. He was the best one because he's going to move on to that next group. So let's see. As far as identifying your chicks or any of your birds, the easiest way to do is tag your birds either by putting colored zip ties or leg bands on them. If you're going to go by color, you can do it. You can easily get, blue, green, and yellow zip ties and tag the chicks. That way, if you do have an issue where one of the birds gets out of a cage, you can easily identify which clan or which group that bird goes back into. So after our first generation, we've gone through, we've picked our best chicks and our best hens. The hens stayed with the mother, but our best roosters will be moved over into the next clan. And this would be second generation. So the blue rooster is going to move over into the green clan. The green rooster is going to move into the yellow, and the yellow is going to jump into the blue clan. And that's your first rotation. Then you just repeat the cycle all over again. So here's what it would look like after your second generation started having laying eggs and chicks hatching out. You can see that on the blue clan, which is at the top, the rooster from the blue clan is now moved down into the yellow clan. And the rooster from the yellow clan, which was originally yellow, he has moved over into the green clan. And the green rooster has moved over into the blue clan. I do want to say if you have a rooster, or if you have a batch of chicks that say come out of the yellow clan, and you go through and you're selecting your rooster, but the rooster isn't as nice or as good as the father that he originated from, it's okay to take that father and rotate him into the next group, because basically you're doing the same thing. Again, you want to replace all your breeders as better chicks come along. So, with Coturnix, growing up so fast and laying eggs so fast, you're probably not going to want to replace your breeders out of the first generation of chicks. You can go ahead and, breed, 3, 4, probably even 5 generations, and then go ahead and select the chicks that you want to put into that breeding program and retire the hens that are already in there. Okay, the chicks' genetics are going to be a combination of the clan colors. So if you've got a yellow rooster who is in with the blue clan, your chicks are going to be blue chicks because they're coming from the blue clan. And I actually kind of have the dots backwards on these. It should be a blue chick with a yellow dot, but you get what I mean. And then the green hen, her chick is considered to be in the green, but she's also carrying genetics from the blue. So you can use that in your record keeping. It's just going to help you to be able to identify what birds have been bred, with what groups and what roosters. The paperwork on this really isn't that tricky. I can almost do it. I've only got one spiral breeding program set up, and that's for my pharaohs right now. But I can almost do it just by looking at the bands that I have them tagged with. Um, so I can walk up to a cage. I can see, okay, this is the yellow cage. The rooster has a blue band on him, so I know that that rooster originated out of the blue group and was moved into the yellow. And then when it comes time to move them again, you'll know uh, that you don't want to put another blue back in with the yellow. You'll want to go like green into the yellow, just so you're not doing the same thing every time. Um, I want to talk a little bit about line breeding. I hear a lot of people, say, how many generations can I breed before I need to replace my bloodlines? Um, First off, if you're doing a spiral breeding program, you should really never have to bring in new blood. It's a little bit iffy if you do bring in the new blood because one, you have no idea where the bird's origins are. You don't know anything, the genetic makeup of that bird. They call it outcrossing. Um, but the problem is most people that are selling you new blood, unless they're experienced breeders and they have their own spiral breeding program, um, you're most likely just going to get a bunch of mixed genetics. There's a difference between breeders and producers. Producers just breed a whole bunch of birds, and you know it's kind of a crapshoot what you're going to get from them. Hopefully, if you do end up having to bring in new blood, you can get it from a breeder that can let you know the entire genetic makeup of that bird, where it originated from, um, where it came from out of their spiral breeding program. So, but as far as line breeding, if you produce, say, a chick that has some really, really nice color or markings, whatever, and you want to, how can I word that? And you want to make sure that that is, you know, stabilized in that line. What you can do is line breed, and that is basically breeding along a line. It would be like breeding, mother to son or father to daughter, and that's just going to reinforce the genetic makeup of whatever trait it is that you're looking, to enforce. So uh, I would look at line breeding more as a tool to use in your spiral breeding or clan breeding program. I would definitely not do a line breeding all the time. You're going to end up, in just a matter of a couple of generations, you're going to, run into some weakened genetics, and it's going to give you problems. So I would stick away with it or stick away from it. Um, and here we are talking about introducing new blood. Again, it's not recommended um, unless you really know the history. It can be risky at best, and it can be deleterious to your flock and undermine all the work that you've done in your spiral breeding program. The nice thing about the spiral breeding program is you can use it to uh, better your flock. And by better, I mean um, bringing out traits that you find desirable, whether it's size, whether it's color, whether it's patterning. Um, all of this can be bred for. And as if as you're constantly selecting the best of your offspring and passing that on to the next clan, you're just reinforcing those good traits in your birds and breeding out the bad traits. And some of the traits that I would uh, try to stay away from, like if you have birds that are overly aggressive, I would cull them no matter what they look like. I don't care if they're the best looking bird that you've ever hatched out. I believe that aggression is a genetic issue for the most part, and you can breed it out. Same with issues like bad conformity. If you have birds that we call couch potatoes, they're just always hunched over and bent over. They kind of walk squatted down. All this stuff can be bred out using your spiral breeding program. So let me go back to one of these first pictures. Yeah, let me go back a little bit further. Um, so to get the basic understanding of the spiral breeding program, all you got to remember is in generation one, this is your first generation when you actually put your three groups together. Um, the three groups, obviously, the rooster and the hen in each group will be the same color. In this case, two blues, two yellows, and two greens. So that's your first generation. And then when you hatch out chicks from from generation one, you are going to select from those the best of the best. The the little girls or the chicks that you select, or the hens, we'll say, because they're not going to be little girls. You're going to let them grow up. Uh, you're going to select them. They're going to stay in the original colored group. The roosters, you want to select preferably one that's better than the father, because that rooster is going to be passed on to the next. Like in this case here, the yellow or the blue rooster is going to go down into the yellow roosters group, or the yellow hens group, and then the yellow rooster is going to go over into the green hens group. So, and it's just a continual cycle over and over again. Um, I do want to say that if you want to uh, introduce new genetics, you can do it from within your own group. Say you're working with a group of Italians, and you're or let's say a group of fawn, and you're spiral breeding them, but you reached we'll just say generation 20, and you're getting concerned about adding new blood. You can always take a pharaoh from one of your other lines. You're not going outside of your operation, to buy clean lines. You just grab a pharaoh from your pharaoh, breed that in, or introduce him into it, and he's going to introduce new blood, new genetics. Yet you still keep that fawn line going. You just added a pharaoh into it. So you can always use the pharaohs to add into your program, to add new blood. You can also use it to, if you want to create a jumbo line, you can bring some of your jumbo pharaohs and bring them, say again, into a fawn line and get the jumbo size, and then start breeding those fawns uh, for the jumbo genetic.